This is Haystack Help Radio on KLZ 560. Haystack Help Radio is powered by HaystackHelp.com. Finding help can be like finding a needle in a haystack, but with HaystackHelp.com, finding the needle just got easier. Now, Haystack Help Radio with Scott Watley on KLZ 560.
Good afternoon and welcome to Haystack Help Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure and check out our website, HaystackHelp.com. There you will find a lot of great companies to do business with. Right there on our homepage, we have a help box. If you got any questions or problems, send us your question through that means, and promise you we'll get back to you. We also have a helpline that's always open. That's 303-333-HELP, 303-333-4357. And any way we can help you in directing you to our good businesses on our referral list, we will be glad to help you. Well, today is a special edition of Your Money Matters, brought to you by our good friends at Affordable Interest Mortgage. Kurt Rogers is normally with us, and but we have an associate of Kurt's in with us today, Jared Bouzek. Jared, how are you, bud?
I'm doing great, Scott.
Good to
it's
see
so
you.
good to be here.
Dude, you're in a short sleeve shirt. It's 30 degrees outside.
I know it. I think it's pretty nice actually. I mean, it's turning season. I mean, up until the last couple of days, it'd warm up.
I know.
You just about don't need a jacket.
Yep, absolutely. Again, Affordable Interest Mortgage is your one-stop shop for all of your mortgage needs. If you just need a regular mortgage, want to refinance, reverse mortgage, whatever, they can help you. Been great supporters of our show for a number of years and do a great job. So what's it been like from the first of the year to now? Has it been pretty steady all year just in your business?
Yeah, I think, well, for me personally, it has been pretty steady all year. I haven't seen a lot of up or down action or anything like that. I think we've been consistent. As far as the market in general, there's some seasonality to things in the real estate market. I think we were real busy in the, kind of late spring getting into the summer, and we've maybe slowed down just a tick, but I think that's kind of standard for this time of year. And really now is a phenomenal time to go out and try to buy a home because you're maybe not facing quite as much competition as you normally would. And so if you can get in, I mean, you could start right now, get under contract, and you could be in your house by Christmas easily.
Good deal. What's the time frame right now? I go out with my realtor. We find a house right now. We call you and say, hey, we'd like to get a mortgage on this. How long is it taking to get to close from about the time you start the paperwork?
Normally, from the time you go under contract, my standard process runs about 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
If I get into a situation where I have somebody say, "Hey, we'd like to maybe shorten that time frame to be more competitive," I have done them sooner than that.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of depends on the scenario, and also depends on the factors of the loan. One of the neat things that is becoming more prevalent here in recent time are what are called these property inspection waivers. And so basically, depending on the factors of your loan, we will get a response from Fannie Mae that says you don't even need an appraisal. And so, I mean, in that kind of a scenario, you can actually move much quicker. I mean, you may be even as short as 10 days or a couple of weeks, basically, to be able to buy a house. Now, I mean, that depends on a purchase. Normally you're going to be putting down at least 20 to 25%. I mean, it's something that it's really dependent on the overall factors. You have a very low debt to income ratio, so you make a nice income. You've got great credit, things like that.
Right.
But those things do happen, and we're seeing them quite a bit on refis now. So if you get a property inspection waiver, we don't even have to worry about an appraisal, and it speeds the timeline up quite a bit.
And one thing you've kind of specialize in, and you're an equal opportunity employer, so to speak. You'll help anybody, but millennials.
Yeah, I work a lot with millennials, first-time home buyers, and it's really neat to take somebody who really has no concept of what's going to happen, and there's a little bit more that goes into the communication and helping them understand up front how the process works. And most of the time, do the millennials want a good deal? Absolutely. They want a good deal. They want a good interest rate. But more than anything, they want to know that whenever they call their loan officer, they're going to be able to have somebody who's going to answer the phone or somebody who's going to respond to their emails. And, so that's so important because I know what it's like. I was there not too long ago. I was a first-time home buyer. I had no idea how things worked. And so, for somebody in that position, I understand how to communicate on their level and things like that. And I think that's very helpful for millennials who are in that position, even if they're not first-time home buyers. But it's great to be a millennial and to be able to work with them, and that they feel like I don't know, we're on the same level, I guess,
Yeah,
basically.
right. How do you go about? Let's say you get somebody approved for 400,000. Let's say it's a young couple in their first time. Not necessarily do they have to spend all that, although you and I both would like for them to. But have you got into some counseling a little bit too, saying, "Hey, look, I mean, how do you figure out trying to say, you know what? You guys should stay maybe around 350, 370, even though you got approved for 400, just so they're not, house poor, as we call it, where they can't afford to put furniture or drapes up and things like that."
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of it on my side is trying to be sensitive to the individual, because some people maybe not would care so much for my counsel on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if they express an interest, and obviously, I can dig in more on saying, what are your long-term goals here? Are
Right.
we talking about, are we going to be in the house long-term? Do you have other things that you're very interested in doing? I mean, I'll sit down and look at a budget with you. If you want to break out your household budget, and we'll sit down and look at your income and your expenses and say, this is what we really think we can afford here. There are definitely rules of thumb for, maybe what you should spend on your housing payment versus what we can allow you to spend. And, most of the time we can allow you to spend much more than maybe you should,
Mm-hmm.
as you said earlier. And so, sitting down and looking at your long-term goals, because this is something we talked about last time I was on, but I work a lot with real estate investors. And so if that's something that is on your plate that you might want to look at in the future, then we have to say, okay, let's be careful when we're making this first decision to buy our own house, so that we have the capability to go and invest in real estate down the line if that's something we want to do.
Sure. Jared Bouzek is our guest today from Affordable Interest Mortgage. If you ever have any mortgage needs, Jared can help you. 720-895-0500. And their website is aimortgage.net. We're going to spend most time today talking a little bit here about VA loans. And Veterans Day will be coming up soon. And so what is really, I guess we can just put it simply, what is so great? And what are some great benefits of a VA loan?
I love the VA loan because it's for a lot of times for veterans, especially if you're in the service or you maybe have recently separated. A lot of times you just don't have a lot of money saved up.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of what's so great about the VA loan is that, it requires a 0% down payment. Now, you have the option. You can put down 5%, 10%. You can put down 20% on a
Sure.
VA loan. I wouldn't necessarily advise that, just because you have the option to put down less. And like what we were just talking about, maybe it makes sense to save a little bit of money to be able to furnish the house and things like that, or to have just a reserve fund set aside. So it's the 0% down payment. It's the fact that you don't have any mortgage insurance that you're paying ongoing. So that helps a little bit with the affordability, where, depending on what price point you're buying at in our area, if you're on a conventional loan or an FHA loan and you're putting down a low amount of money, that mortgage insurance, depending on the scenario, it could be $100, $200. And sometimes that can be a deal breaker for your budget. And so the VA loan and not having mortgage insurance is going to help a lot with your affordability and keeping your budget in line.
So when you say how much money do you need to purchase with a VA loan, is there a certain starting point for buying a home with a VA loan?
I think you start with, if you're going to start with a 0% down payment, if you have some money set aside for some closing costs and to cover some of your to build your escrow account, that's a great thing. It's not necessarily required. I've actually got somebody who's getting ready to close right now, who they put down their earnest money, whether it be $2,000 or $3,000, and when it's all said and done, I'm gonna be giving them money back at the closing. So I'm going to give them back $2,500 or $2,700 at closing. So really, they came out of pocket with me maybe $300 or $400, and they might have paid for an inspection and things like that. But you can, it's kind of hard to imagine. I mean, you can be a veteran and you can own a house and you've taken maybe $500 out of your pocket.
Yeah, that'll work. You mentioned inspections. What are those running today?
Inspections generally are outside of my realm, but my experience, I think they're usually $300, $350.
Oh.
And, I think that's actually a good topic to talk about because I do have the question once in a while is, well, I'm getting an appraisal. Do I really need an inspection? Or, a lot of times people just don't understand what's really the difference between an appraisal and an inspection. An inspection really is an expert who's going to come in and he's going to take a really strong look over your home and say, these are the potential issues that could be here, or maybe based on their expertise, these are some serious issues that we see, and these may be reasons why we wouldn't want to, move forward with purchasing this home. And so it's very wise to have an inspection done because it's going to identify things that, especially if you've never been a homeowner, you don't know how to look at a house and really identify, these are the potential issues. Unless you have some expertise, you've worked for a contractor or something like that. Whenever I bought my house, I had never worked in, the contracting field or anything like that. So I couldn't have walked into my house and said, ooh, that could be a major red flag right there. And so having a qualified inspector who looks at the house is potentially going to save you a lot of heartache.
Right.
Now, an appraisal is something that, unless it really wouldn't happen in a VA scenario, but unless you have an inspection waiver, the appraisal is what the lender is going to use to value that home. So the appraisal, it might point out some of the obvious issues with the house, but really the intention of the appraisal is to give a value so that the lender understands what the collateral is worth that they're lending against.
Right. Is the process the same as me starting out with you as a veteran? What do you need from a veteran? First of all, I guess to prove all that they are. And is there a process the same as for me?
It's roughly the same. As far as a timing factor, I would say there's very little difference. There's a couple of extra pieces of documentation that I'll normally get from you. If I have the information I need, then the first thing I'm going to get is what's called a certificate of eligibility. And that's something that we can pull through the VA portal. And it tells us how much of your entitlement is available. And it tells me, how much your funding fee is, if you've ever used the entitlement before, things like that. And sometimes I might request what's called a DD-214, and it's your discharge paperwork that shows me some of the information I would need basically to get your certificate of eligibility. So outside of that, there's not a lot different in the process. There's maybe some stuff on my side of things in how I would qualify you that are slightly different, but it's nothing that impacts the individual per se.
Mm-hmm. And what about fees?
Generally, they're going to be virtually the same. The VA appraisals are just slightly higher than a standard appraisal, and those figures are set directly by the VA. So it's not even driven by an individual appraiser or us or anything like that. And besides that, sometimes we're a broker, so we work with multiple lenders. So sometimes you'll have a lender who will cut their underwriting fee in half, or you might even run across a lender who will get rid of the underwriting fee. But in general, I don't really see any variance from a VA loan to a conventional or any other type of loan, really.
Right. Do you find sometimes when you're talking to people, find out they're a veteran and you start explaining all these different things that are benefits that they had no clue?
Yeah, I mean, it happens once in a while. I'm really amazed at, I think a lot of times there's just not an awareness of that this is available. This is a benefit to you. And, so when we have that conversation and we find out, you are a veteran, it's like, wow, you have this available to you, and it's a really great benefit. And, I think a lot of times people kind of shy away a little bit from that funding fee. But outside of that, as long as you kind of understand how that plays into it and the benefits of, VA loans have phenomenal interest rates, and the no mortgage insurance. It's just such a good option that really, if you're a veteran, and especially if you're looking to put a low amount of money down, I don't understand how you couldn't do a VA loan.
Exactly. Jared Bouzek is our guest, Affordable Interest Mortgage. If you got any questions about mortgages, our lines are open, 303-477-5600. This is Haystack Help Radio.
What could you do with an extra $500, $1,000, or even $1,500 per month? How would that change things for you? Would you buy a new car, pay off bills, or just feel a bit more secure about your retirement? What if I told you there's a way to make your dreams a reality? I'm talking about trading and investing in the market. Now, before you say, oh, that's not for me, just hear me out. I want to invite you to a half-day trading course so you can check this out. I promise you, you'll go away smarter than when you came in. We here at Online Trading Academy sponsor this, and we'll even send you home with a free home study video guide. Your money's doing nothing for you in a CD or mutual fund. Learn how to profit when the market's up or down. Call us now while seats are still available at 303-325-2776. Use offer code radio50. 303-325-2776. That's 303-325-2776.
Affordable Interest Mortgage still has rates in the mid-threes. Do that upgrade that you've been putting off, or pay off that high interest rate debt, or just get ready for the holidays. Purchase your next home with only 2% down and no mortgage insurance. Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. We all know rates are going to go up, so why keep putting it off when you can borrow money in the threes? Do you know paying mortgage insurance is like adding 1.5% to your current rate without the tax deduction? Why? Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Call now and find out how to pay off your home faster, save over $100,000 in excess interest that you get to keep, all without changing one penny of your spending habits. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. VA loans to 100% with cash out in the low threes. We've been serving Colorado since 2001. Where it's all about you is not just our motto, it's who we are. Get the respect you deserve. Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. NMLS 298191, regulated by DORA, equal credit lender.
November is Senior Pets Month at Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center. Hi, this is Scott Watley, your host of Haystack Help Radio. Did you know that if your dog or cat is 7 years old, your pet is a senior citizen? All through November, bring your senior pet in for their annual or semi-annual exam and receive $25 off of a senior pet blood panel, and you'll receive an entry for your chance to win a fabulous senior pet gift basket. Senior dogs and cats are at risk for many of the same illnesses and conditions that affect older humans, such as diabetes, heart disease, cancer, arthritis, dental disease, vision, and hearing loss. Call 303-708-8050 and schedule your senior pet for their exam now. That's 303-708-8050. Help your pet live a long and happy life. Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center is located at 8681 East Lincoln Avenue. Open 7 days a week for your convenience. At Lone Tree Veterinary Medical Center, they believe that all pets deserve a good life. 303-708-8050 or visit them at LoneTreeVet.com.
Hi, Dan Johnson with Lindlau Chevrolet. We have rows and rows and rows of reconditioned pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Heck, over 200. We can finance anyone, and we have used car rates starting in the twos. Lindlau Chevrolet, I-225 in East Colfax, or on the web at lindlauchevy.com.
Rush to Reason with John Rush. Weekdays from 3 to 7 on KLZ 560.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio, special edition of Your Money Matters, brought to you by Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500, 720-895-0500. One thing I've always loved about Kurt and the crew at American Affordable Interest Mortgage is, you know, they will spend time with you on the phone. So if you've got questions, maybe you are a first-time home buyer, maybe you've done it before, whatever. But if you've got questions, you know, Jared, I'm sure you spend a lot of time on the phone with people, just kind of helping them and answering questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, on the phone, or even if you want to get face-to-face and you want to come by my office, I've got a guy coming by this afternoon, actually, who, you know, he's just coming by to understand, how do I buy a house? How do I even get started?
Right.
So, I mean, if you want to come face-to-face, I love to sit down with people and just talk.
Okay, great. Now, we're talking about VA loans. And again, if you've got any questions, we'll take your calls, 303-477-5600. And I was talking about fees a little bit ago, but what is the VA funding fee, and, you know, how much is it?
So the VA funding fee is basically it's something that you is part of your costs of doing a VA mortgage, and that cost is rolled into your loan. So it's not something that you take out of pocket. So and the funding fee it varies depending on how much money you're putting down, what type of service, were you active duty, were you a reserve. It also depends on, are you using your VA entitlement for the first time, or are you using it for a subsequent time? So those percentages vary, but they can range from as low as 1.25% to sometimes they're as high as about 3.3% for subsequent users. And so that fee is something that's paid to the VA, and it's part of how they guarantee your loan. So the nice benefit of the VA loan is that you can put down 0%. And as part of that, and part of what gives lenders that comfort with lending that money, is that the VA is standing behind this, and they guarantee 25% of that loan. Okay. So essentially, if you were to get a VA loan and somewhere down the line something happened and you were to default on that loan, then the VA has insurance that basically they're on the hook for 25% of that loan amount. So that funding fee is part of going to the VA, is essentially paying for that guarantee. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing is that you don't take it out of pocket. It's something that you can roll into your loan amount, and it's just something that's there over the course of paying for that loan.
Right. When you look at income for veterans, you've got a note here, about using the income from GI Bill to qualify. You can't do that.
Not with the GI Bill. So there are a number of different, for people who are service members, they will easily understand this, but okay. There are a number of different compensations that can happen when you're in the service. Some people will get housing allowances, clothing allowances, food allowances, things like that. Now, there are certain caveats to how you can use that income in order to qualify. Whenever it comes to things like housing allowances, clothing allowances, things like that, as long as you're at least 1 year or at least 12 months from your date of separation, I can use that as qualifying income. So it's nice, that number can vary in how much that is, but as long as you're at least 12 months out from when you're going to leave the service, that can help you qualify for a mortgage. Now, once you get into that time period where you're within a year of when you're going to leave the service, then the underwriter starts to question, is this going to continue on? And so in order to use that to qualify at that point, we've got to have some kind of proof that you're going to continue in service, or you're going to re-enlist, or whatever the case may be, so that allowance will continue on. Now, when we look at the other side of after you've separated from the service, is when we have things like the education benefits of the GI Bill. And I do get that question once in a while where people say, hey, can I use this income that I've got from the GI Bill to be able to qualify? And the answer is no. And the reason is because from the eyes of a mortgage lender, there's no way of really proving that income is going to continue, because in a purely hypothetical situation, let's say you're in school for the fall semester right now, and hypothetically, if we're going to use that income to qualify, you could leave school after this semester, and that would be the end of your benefits, and now you no longer have that income to pay for your mortgage. So in the same sense as what you run into with a conventional or an FHA mortgage, where you have to prove that your income is going to continue, it's the same thing, and because you can't prove that with GI money, that's why you can't use it to qualify for a VA loan. Okay.
Are there restrictions on, what you can buy as far as, single family home dwelling, multi?
Yeah, it needs to be a residential property. So it needs to be anywhere from 1 to 4 units. Anytime you get over that 4 units mark is where you get into what we would consider a commercial property. And that's the case for conventional loans and FHA loans as well. So you can do that. You can do a lot of things with a VA loan, depending on the lender you're working with. Hypothetically, you can do a VA construction. You can do VA rehab loans. There are certain lenders that do those things. Now, we primarily focus on just strictly your purchase and your refinance and things like that. But yeah, anything from a single family all the way up to a fourplex you can do with VA.
So if I have one VA loan on my current home, and let's say I want to buy another as an investment, can I get a VA? I mean, can you have multiple VA loans or?
Well, first of all, the VA loan is strictly for owner occupied
Okay.
people. So
kind of your primary residence.
yeah, it's absolutely for a primary residence. So when you purchase a home with a VA loan, you're going to sign documentation that says I am agreeing to live in this home for at least the next year. Now, I mean, there are certain circumstances under which you can leave in under a year, but I mean, it's got to be a good, like you've got orders to move somewhere else, or there's something that has caused you to have to move that you can get away with under that 1 year mark. But ultimately, I mean, it's intended for a primary residence. Now, I mean, to kind of answer your question, can you have more than one VA loan? Well, the answer is yes, actually, because in a scenario where you had purchased a home and you've lived in it for a little over a year, you could hypothetically move to another place and you could buy another home with the VA loan. Now, that's going to be dependent upon your entitlement, because everybody has a set amount of entitlement. But as long as you have remaining entitlement, you can still go out and purchase another home with your VA loan. And really, the answer to that question is you need to talk to a lender, give me a call, and I'll pull information on your current home and your current certificate of eligibility and say, yep, we can qualify for this amount.
What are really the advantages? You mentioned earlier in our first segment about you guys being brokers. What's really the advantages, what you see from being in this business of dealing with a broker?
Well, first of all, I would say there are a lot of different types of lenders, and we understand that every lender has a slightly different process for how they get to the same endpoint. So when it comes to being a broker, what I like about being a broker is that we're independent of any of the lenders out there. So what that gives us the ability to do is that, number one, I can work on behalf of any number of lenders out there. Now, I mean, we have zeroed in on a certain set of lenders that we like to work with, who we know get the job done, have good rates, who treat people right, and things like that. So we have a select group of lenders that we work with. But what that allows us to do is, we can shop your scenario to a number of different lenders, and maybe you're a fit for lender number one, but maybe my scenario is better with lender number two or lender number three. Right. And so we can kind of tailor that to you as an individual. The other thing I like about being a broker is that I don't work for the lender. I don't work for the underwriter. I don't work for anybody at that company, and I work for you. And so it's my job to do what's in your best interest. And obviously, I'm not going to violate any kind of a federal regulation or guideline or anything like that, but it's my job to represent you and serve you to the best of my ability. And so there are times when, maybe there's a question about something in your scenario, and we can push back a little bit against a lender or an underwriter and say, we really can do this, and this is really what's in their best interest. And so that's the benefit of working with a broker.
Right. Do you run into sometimes, in this day and while we're talking about VA loans, so we'll just open this up on any kind of loan, but sometimes people have run into a credit bump or two where they were late on a payment or some medical bill that's old. You guys can help people that sometimes have had a few hiccups, I guess we'll call them, in their credit too. Absolutely.
Yeah, it depends on the expertise of the loan officer. And when people come to me with credit issues, the first thing I'll say is that I'm not a credit expert per se, but by nature of being in my job, I see hundreds of people's credit, and I know what good credit is, what bad credit is. And a lot of times, if you have credit issues, I can give you a pretty good idea of what things you need to do to get your credit in better shape. And there are scenarios where, if there are really severe issues, I'll refer you to somebody who maybe has some more expertise than I do. But ultimately, the large majority of cases, I can give you a pretty good idea. And I love it when people come to me. I've had people, even here just recently, I've had people call me and say, hey, Jared, I'm thinking about buying next spring. but I'd like you to take a look at my credit if you would, and just kind of give me an idea of how I stand with things and what things I could do to improve so that I'm in a position to buy next spring. And I love those scenarios because you're working with somebody who is thinking ahead and is planning for that.
Right.
And
it's really never too early to start that conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to meet you and talk about it.
And I would rather have that conversation with you and find out that you have pristine credit than get into next spring. And I have this scenario too, where people call me and say, we have found the house. Could you take a look at our credit? and you look and there's a problem. And it's like, well, I mean, maybe you still can purchase that home, but it's not necessarily the most ideal interest rate or the most ideal program for you. We can still make it happen. But, in an ideal world, maybe those people would have called a few months earlier and gotten prepared and gotten their credit in shape, and then we wouldn't have those questions.
Right. Jared Bouzek is our guest today from Affordable Interest Mortgage. This is a special edition of Your Money Matters right here on Haystack Help Radio. Once again, Affordable Interest Mortgage can be reached at 720-895-0500 and their website, aimortgage.net. When we come back, Jared's going to share with us about some low down payment options. We'll be right back.
Now is a great time to get your furnace inspected. Littleton Heating and Air Conditioning is proud of their 45 years of HVAC service to Littleton, Highlands Ranch, and Denver metro area. Littleton Heating and Air Conditioning is your Lennox and Carrier expert heating and air conditioning contractor. They are proud to offer the finest heating, air conditioning, and indoor air quality products with prompt and professional customer service and satisfaction. Call today and mention Haystack Help Radio and save $25 off any repairs or $100 off your furnace installation. Call 303-798-3880. That's 303-798-3880 for your appointment today. Littleton Heating and Air, A-plus members of the Better Business Bureau and official Haystack Help registered company.
Are you buying your first home? Or are you right-sizing or downsizing for lower maintenance or a lock-and-leave lifestyle? This is Pamela Meyer of Denver Home Navigators with Keller Williams. I can help you discover and reach those goals. This is more than just real estate. It's about your life and your dreams. Call me today for your free consultation at 303-506-0106. At Denver Home Navigators, we help map your course. It's all about you. Call me now at 303-506-0106 or visit my website at denverhomenavigators.com. I'm Pamela Meyer, the exclusive agent for Haystack Help Radio, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Did you know that each and every day, 21 United States veterans commit suicide? Last year, active duty suicides surpassed the number of combat deaths. When soldiers come home, it is a huge adjustment, and they're often plagued with disabilities, such as immobility, PTSD, or a traumatic brain injury. You can help by donating to Freedom Service Dogs. This nonprofit rescues dogs from local shelters and trains them to become service dogs for these heroes. Help give back to those who have given so much. Donate now at freedomservicedogs.org.
This is Scott Watley from my friends at Rampart Firearms in Sedalia. This is a great store, family owned and operated. They buy, sell, trade, and consign firearms. You will find a great selection of new and pre-owned handguns, shotguns, and rifles. If you can't find the gun you want, Rampart Firearms will special order your gun at no extra cost. Found a gun on the internet? Rampart Firearms will do one firearm transfer and the background check for only $10 if you mention Sportsman of Colorado. Rampart Firearms, 720-468-0050. That's 720-468-0050. Located at Highway 67 in Santa Fe in Sedalia. Rampart Firearms open 7 days a week. 720-468-0050.
Don't fall for gimmick ads when choosing your insurance coverage. Group Insurance Analyst has been Colorado's insurance superstore since 1984, where customers can compare and shop for all of their insurance needs. At GIA Insurance, their brokers have no allegiance to any particular health, auto, or home insurance company. Take advantage of their experience, expertise, and exceptional client service. For your free quote, call today at 303-423-0162. That's 303-423-0162. Visit their website, e-gia.com, or stop by their office at 44th and Garrison Street in Wheat Ridge. Group Insurance Analyst is an official Haystack Help registered company.
Got a question for the station? Email info@crawfordbroadcasting.com. Now back to Haystack Help Radio.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio. If you're just joining us, this is a special edition of Your Money Matters each week. This show is brought to you by Affordable Interest Mortgage, your one-stop shop for all your mortgage needs. 720-895-0500. AIMortgage.net is their website. Jared Bouzek joins us today from Affordable Interest Mortgage. We've been talking about VA loans and all. And we're going to talk now about some low down payment options. That's always a good thing, Jared, if you got to come up with just a little bit.
It is.
So let's talk a little bit. What if you're not eligible for a VA loan? You don't have a lot of money saved up. What are some of the programs out there possibly available?
Well, we've got a few different options. Number one, we've got FHA. And then on the conventional side, there are a couple of different options that allow you to put 3% down. And then there is the USDA loan. It's something that we don't talk about a lot around this area, but USDA is another zero down program, but it's designed for rural areas. So a lot of times you would see this for people that are up in like Weld County or up kind of north of Brighton, some of that area, or maybe even some of the rural areas of El Paso County down towards Colorado Springs. But it is an option, and it's something that we can look at if you're in one of those areas. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the best options that are out there. If you want to get away with, you're not VA eligible, but you want to get away with as little out of pocket, those are probably your best options.
You mentioned FHA. Sometimes it seems like those loans get kind of a bad rap a little bit. Why is that?
Yeah, I don't entirely understand that. I mean, I've had people call me and flat out tell me they don't want an FHA loan. And I don't entirely understand that because it's specific to your scenario. But the FHA loan is really a great option for people, especially if, not everybody has elite credit. Not everybody, we're human, we make mistakes, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we go through those rough patches in life. And so the FHA loan, what's so nice about it is that it's the most lenient for people that are in those scenarios. Especially if you're in a situation where maybe you've been through bankruptcy or you've been through a foreclosure or you did a short sale. The FHA has the shortest timelines for being able to go back to becoming a homeowner again. I've seen scenarios where this is very dependent on what you're going through, but I've seen people who have just exited Chapter 13 bankruptcy who got an FHA loan. And there actually are scenarios where while you're in Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you can actually do an FHA loan. And I mean, for somebody who's going through that, I mean, that's such a high stress time in life to go through a bankruptcy. Nobody wants to be in that position. And so if you can have the relief of maybe you want to refinance, maybe you're in a loan and you want to refinance with an FHA loan while you're in Chapter 13, you're going to have to meet some stipulations to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. But if we can make it happen, I mean, that can be a huge relief when you're going through that bankruptcy process. And on top of that, even if you don't, even if you're purchasing and you don't have that elite credit, FHA, actually, the base rate to FHA a lot of times is lower than a conventional loan. What people don't like and why they get a bad rap is because of the mortgage insurance. And, the reality is that's just part of an FHA loan. Right. But I mean, if that's the best option, what's going to give you the lowest payment? It's not like we're getting married to an FHA loan for life or anything like that. I mean,
that's why there's a word refinance.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
You can go buy with an FHA loan, and when you get things straightened out with your credit, and you get the opportunity to refinance into a conventional loan, and that option is always available to you. But don't come into the process saying, I'm not going to use an FHA loan, because it really is a good option for you if you're in that kind of a scenario.
Right. So someone hears you today, they call you, 720-895-0500, want to meet with you for the first time. What does your consultation kind of look like? Somebody calls you for the first time. What are some things you first initially ask?
I start early with just trying to understand, number one, what's our goal here? What is it that we're trying to accomplish? If you're calling me, I'll just use a refinance. If you're calling me about a refinance, there's a goal that we're trying, we want our payments lower. Maybe we want to get cash out so that we can pay off some other debts. There's a number of different reasons why you can want to do a refinance. And so I'm going to go into it wanting to understand what you want to accomplish, because at the end of the day, if we're not on the same page and you have a totally different idea of what we're trying to do than what I do, then it's just not working. And so our job is to serve you in that sense. Now, ultimately, I'll go through and I'll ask you just some very basic questions about where you're living, what kind of work you do, how much money you make, how much money do you have saved up, things like that. And then I can get a pretty good sense. I like to see people's credit, but there are some people that are kind of edgy about that. And so if you can at least give me an idea of what your credit picture looks like, then I can, there are certain things that just comes along with the experience of being a loan officer and working with hundreds of clients, is that you understand, based on the things that you hear in kind of that consultation, okay, these people are probably going to fit best with FHA, or these people may fit best in a conventional home-ready type product. And so it's my job and part of my expertise to listen to what you're trying to accomplish, and what your needs are, and also what your wants are, so that we can tailor that experience to you. And part of what I love about it too is that there's no incentive for me to try to put you in one bucket or the other.
Sure.
I don't make any more money if you're doing an FHA loan, a conventional loan, nothing. It doesn't matter.
Right. And that you may not get. And that's why another advantage over the broker. Because if I'm working for a bank and I've got these certain programs that I'm supposed to do, you got to fit in one of my 3 boxes that we offer, because that's all I got.
Yeah.
Not necessarily so with a broker.
Yeah. I mean, as a broker, we have no incentive for putting you in one loan program or another. And so ultimately, when I'm dealing with people, a lot of times I have tools that I use to, in my mind, it's totally transparent. I mean, I can show you a lot of times with people who are going to purchase, I'll take your factors and I'll say, okay, here's a conventional scenario. Here's what your interest rate would be roughly. Here's how much it's going to cost you. Here's how much you're going to have to take out of pocket to do it. And there's what your payment is. Now here, in the next column, this is what an FHA loan looks like. And then we can have that conversation, and I can say, here's the advantages of doing it conventional, or here's the advantages of doing FHA for your scenario. And so then it's not one of these things where I'm trying to sell you on one product or another. I'm your advisor, and I'm here to give you your options, and you tell me what you want to do based on what your preferences are.
Right. A couple of terms here before our break I wanted to hit real quick. One of our questions today is, when is it better to use Home Ready or Home Possible? Explain those two different terms.
Home Ready and Home Possible are the two conventional products that are really designed for those low down payments. And really, the most basic answer to that question is that if you're above a 680 credit score, that's when you get into some of those optimum, the kind of those premium interest rates with Home Ready and Home Possible, just the way those products are designed. And so ideally, I like to see you above a 680. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be above a 680, but that's the ideal time. And, there are advantages to each one of those programs, and there are disadvantages to each one of those programs. Home Possible, you have to be a first-time home buyer. Okay. You cannot own any other property in order to use Home Possible. Home Ready, you can own other properties, and you can still put 3% down if you're going to own or occupy that house. When we talked a little bit about multifamily earlier, if you're not VA eligible, you have 2 primary options to buy a multifamily property. FHA is a really good option for multifamily. Home Possible is a conventional option for multifamily. You can put 5% down on a duplex, triplex, or fourplex with Home Possible. And, as long as you qualify from all the other perspectives, it's a really good option, and a lot of times has a lower payment than an FHA loan.
Okay. Jared Bouzek is our guest, Affordable Interest Mortgage. Once again, their number, 720-895-0500. Free consultation. On any of these different programs, and maybe you've been told no in the past that you couldn't get a loan. Give Jared a call. Let him try. 720-895-0500. This is Haystack Help Radio.
Attorney Kevin Flesh has the experience and the knowledge to get more than an apology from those responsible for serious accidents. Sometimes saying, "I'm sorry," is enough.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
But after a serious accident, "I'm sorry" just won't do.
Oops. Sorry about that. My bad.
When you've been in an accident and sorry just won't do, you need representation on your side that will get the job done. Call attorney Kevin Flesh at 303-806-8886. That's Kevin Flesh of Flesh Law at 303-806-8886 for a free consultation to find out if he can help you to get the compensation that you deserve.
Affordable Interest Mortgage still has rates in the mid-threes. Do that upgrade that you've been putting off, or pay off that high interest rate debt, or just get ready for the holidays. Purchase your next home with only 2% down and no mortgage insurance. Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. We all know rates are going to go up, so why keep putting it off when you can borrow money in the threes? Do you know paying mortgage insurance is like adding 1.5% to your current rate without the tax deduction? Why? Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Call now and find out how to pay off your home faster, save over $100,000 in excess interest that you get to keep, all without changing one penny of your spending habits. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. VA loans to 100% with cash out in the low threes. We've been serving Colorado since 2001. Where it's all about you is not just our motto, it's who we are. Get the respect you deserve. Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. NMLS 298191, regulated by DORA, equal credit lender.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Let me tell you what I love about Stack Optical. They are truly one of the last optician-owned, family-owned optical stores. At Stack Optical, you can be confident you'll receive personal attention. For over 50 years, Alan Stack has shown he really cares about making his customers happy. Stack Optical also has a beautiful new location at 2233 South Monaco Parkway in Denver. Free and easy up-close parking. Stack Optical has an on-site eyeglass production lab. Whether you need office eyewear or a new set of shooting or golf glasses, Stack Optical has the solution with the Stack Sport Pack. Give them a call today and ask for their $69 eye exam, 303-321-1578. That's 303-321-1578. Your eyes and vision are one of the most important things in life. I'm confident at Stack Optical, you'll see the difference. That's 303-321-1578, stackoptical.com.
If you're looking for great deals on outdoor equipment and clothing, we've got you covered. Hi, this is Bill Paddock, owner of the Outdoorsman's Attic, your outdoor gear consignment headquarters. You'll save 20, 30, 40, even 50% on previously owned outdoor gear for the fisherman, hunter, and camper. We also sell live bait, firearms, and ammo. If you're doing a little spring cleaning, bring in your gear to the Outdoorsman's Attic. We'll sell it for you and put cash in your pocket. You can also pick up your hunting and fishing licenses right here at the store. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor gear needs is the Outdoorsman's Attic, located at 2650 West Hampton Avenue in Sheridan, Colorado. 303-781-3626. That's 303-781-3626. Or visit us online at outdoorsmansattic.com. Mention Sportsman's of Colorado and receive 20% off all your outdoor clothing.
It's closeout time at Linlau Chevrolet. Right now, we have new Chevy Cruisers starting at just $13,900, or a new Chevy Silverado for up to $12,000 off MSRP. We have the lowest overhead, we have the lowest prices, and the best selection. Linlau Chevrolet, I-225 in East Colfax, or on the web at linlauchevy.com.
Rush to Reason with John Rush, weekdays from 3 to 7 on KLZ 560.
Welcome back to Haystack Help Radio. A few more minutes left here with Jared Bouzek from Affordable Interest Mortgage. If you're just joining us, 720-895-0500 is their number. And once again, Jared offers a free consultation if you've got any questions. Maybe you're just thinking about buying a home. Again, it's never too early. We were talking about earlier. It's never too early to start that conversation, just to kind of get that relationship started. Go and meet Jared. See if you like him. see if he likes you. But no, he'll help you out. And, and like I say, sometimes you got some credit issues. Get on that now. Don't wait till you do find that exact home, and Jared will be glad to help you. 720-895-0500. Now, let's talk a little bit about the down payment. Got, like I say, a few minutes left here. It's always confused me of like, who cares where you got the money from? You got the money, put it down. But they always want to know that. So sometimes people will gift money to a relative, child, whatever, to buy a home. Why do they care where they get that money comes from?
Yeah, there's a lot of scrutiny that's in the mortgage lending world right now, and that's because of a federal regulation called anti-money laundering. And what that is, to explain just the basics of money laundering, it's a term that we hear on TV a lot and things like that. But basically, it's people who have obtained money through illegal or illicit means, basically. And so what they're trying to do is hide that money, and they do so by laundering it. And one of the means by which they can do that is to go and purchase real estate with it. And so then they own an asset, and they've hidden that money that they obtained through whatever it is, selling drugs, or there can be any number of things. So the part of the requirements for us as mortgage lenders is that we have to verify that those funds were obtained legally. So there's a lot of scrutiny of, most lenders like to see 60 days of bank statements, and they like to see what are the deposits that were going in, and there's certain parameters that go into what determines a large deposit that has to be explained. But by and large, I mean, if it's a direct deposit and it says your employer's name right on the statement, we know where the money came from.
Sure.
But if there are large deposits of money going in, and as a guideline, it's if it's a conventional loan, it's 50%. If it's greater than 50% of your monthly income, that is a large deposit. If it is a government loan, it is if you're greater than 1% of the purchase price, typically is what we consider. So on a government loan, if you're purchasing a $300,000 house, a deposit larger than $3,000 that's not readily explained is something that I have to go get an explanation for. And so what that causes is that, anytime you're getting gift funds, which is kind of what we were talking about, is that you're eligible to get gift funds for the majority of programs that are out there. Conventional, FHA, any of those types of programs are typically going to allow gift funds. They need to come from a family member, so your father, your mother, your brother, sister, aunt and uncle, things like that. In certain scenarios, if you can really sell it to the underwriter, you can get away with a long-term friend. If you've been lifelong friends with somebody and you have, as the guidelines say, a family-like relationship, you can sometimes get away with that one.
Oh, okay.
But
they just want to make sure you're not being required to pay that back. Is that what they want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a process to that, and I always tell people, that's totally fine. If you want to get gift funds, just talk to me before you start the process, and I'll show you how to make that happen and how to document it correctly so we don't have any issues with the underwriter. And there's a gift letter that I can give you that's fill in the blank, and it's going to say, you're not required to pay that money back because it's a gift to help you purchase that home. So that's a huge benefit if you're somebody who you don't have a whole lot of money saved up, and maybe, to buy that house you want to buy, maybe you need somebody to kick in $5,000 for you or something like that. And if you have a family member who's willing to do that, then that's perfectly acceptable as long as you document it correctly.
Right. A couple of minutes left here. What if someone doesn't have time? Thinking about time. What if someone doesn't have enough to qualify for a down payment? You've got a term here, non-occupant co-borrowers. What is that?
Yeah, if you don't have enough income to qualify, so we, depending on the loan program, I take a calculation of your income. If you're a W-2 employee, it's pretty straightforward because you make an hourly rate or you make a salary or whatever it may be. So it's kind of obvious. If you're a 1099 contractor or if you are self-employed, a lot of times you have expenses that you write off. And so when it comes to understanding your income, what we use in the mortgage lending world is what you told the IRS you made. So if you grossed $100,000 and you wrote off $50,000 in expenses and you paid taxes on $50,000, that's how much your income is.
Right.
And so if we have issues with helping you qualify, then we can do things with having people co-sign with you, a non-occupant co-borrower, and we can use their income as part of the qualifying for the mortgage. We also have to use their liabilities, but we can look at that overall picture and see if that helps you. Another thing is I have a lot of people who are interested in buying multifamily properties. I can count the income, the rental income from the other units. So if you're buying a duplex and you're going to have a renter in the other unit, I can count the rental income from that other unit as part of your qualifying income. The only caveat you have to be careful of there is with a VA loan. If you're going to buy multifamily with a VA loan and you're going to try to use income from the other units to qualify, then you've got to show that you have some experience as a landlord, or that you have experience managing properties, things like that, in order to count that as qualifying income. Doesn't mean you can't buy the property. It's just that if you're going to use the other income to qualify, I've got to show that you have experience to do it with a VA loan.
Okay, gotcha. I think you got to do a disclosure here.
I do. We are Affordable Interest Mortgage. We're a division of AI Inc. We're located at 7400 East Arapahoe Road in Suite 109, Centennial, Colorado 80112. Our NMLS number is 298191. We're regulated by the Division of Real Estate, and we are an equal credit lender.
Jared, great information. Thanks for being here with us today.
Appreciate it, Scott.
Check out aimortgage.net. Once again, free consultation with Jared. If you got any kind of mortgage questions, problems, issues, he'll help you. 720-895-0500, 720-895-0500. And be sure and check out our website, haystackhelp.com. And our helpline is always there for you, 303-333-HELP, 303-333-4357. Have a great day. Stay warm. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed on KLZ 560 are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Crawford Broadcasting, the station, management, employees, associates, or advertisers. KLZ 560 is a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.